guys, I'm back with a new video, and from this video onwards we'll start to solve a couple of good questions on strings. Now strings is a very important topic when it comes to data structures. So without wasting any time, let us first get a deep overview of what are strings, and then we will start solving questions on strings using Java. Now a string is a sequence of characters. So suppose we have a string, say this, the nerdy dev. Now you can see we have wrapped this sequence of characters right inside double quotes, and this is immutable. So what happens in the case of Java is that whenever you create a string or you introduce a change to it, an entirely new string gets created. Now I had already discussed about the basic syntax of declaring a string in the introductory video of this series. So to declare a string, we first use the string data type, then the variable name, say var, that will hold the string and assign it to a value, which is a string, so something in double quotes. Now let us understand about the memory allocation in case of strings. Now whenever a new string object is created, two objects get created. So one in the heap, so say this is our heap, and say this is our string. So one of the versions of this string gets created in the heap and one in the string constant pool. So we have something called as the string constant pool, and here also you will have this string, and the string object reference that you are having here, say var, will always point to the object that is stored inside the heap, like this. So if you try to create a new string with the same sequence of characters again, then in that case it will not create a new string this time in the heap. Instead, in that case, the new Java object or reference that you create will point to the version of the string that we already created and that is stored inside the constant pool. So it is not going to create a new string this time. Instead, the new string reference is going to point to the string constant pool as it holds the already created string object. So now we know in depth what strings are. Let us solve some problems. So in each video we will try to solve some questions. So let us start with a set of problems for this video. Now let us start with a very simple problem. That is, given a string, you have to count the number of A's in the given string. So suppose the string is something like this. You have to count the number of A's that are present inside the string. Now a typical approach for solving this is to maintain a counter variable, so some counter variable that will hold the initial count, say 0, and you go over the entire string character by character and match the character. So if the character is A, you spin up the counter by 1. So you found one more A, spin up the counter by 1, 3, then for this 4, 5, 6, this is not A, 7, not A, 8. So in all we have 8 A's, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer for this is 8. Now let us solve this using code. So first define the class, public class strings, and the main method. And first let us create an instance for our scanner class. So import java util scanner, and let's go right below to create the instance, scanner new scanner system.in, and let us define a function count A's. This will take on a string that the user will provide as an input using the scanner instance that we just created. So scanner.next, and to accept a string we have to use the next line method like this, and this function is then supposed to return the count of A's, so we can store that in a variable count A's. So let us go right here and define the function. So public static int count A's. Now this function expects a string as an argument, so say string1 like this. And now the very first thing is to set up a counter variable, set that to 0, and let us iterate over the string using a for loop. So we will go over the string character by character, and we need to check for each character. If that character is say, we'll spin up the counter by 1, otherwise we'll move forward to the next characters in line. So for integer I is 0, I less than string 1 dot length. So length is a method defined on the string that we are having, and I plus plus. And then to check for each character, we can say string 1 dot caret, which represents the character that we are currently at, and this takes on the index of the character that you are currently at. So to get the character that is sitting at the index I, you have to use this, and let us convert the string to a lowercase version. So suppose the user supplies a string, and each character of the string is say mixed case or in uppercase. So we will first convert that to the lowercase version and then check for the current character. And if the current character matches a lowercase a, you spin up the counter by 1. And finally, when the loop is done, let us return the counter. So for this string, you can see the character that is sitting at index 0 is a, character that is sitting at index 1 is b, and so on. The indexing goes. So we are matching the character that is sitting at a particular index I with a, and if the match happens, we spin up the counter by 1 each time. And that is how once the loop is done, you get a counter value of 8. So let us pass this exact string to our function and see if it works or not. So let us first compile the code, java c strings.java and java strings. Let us pass the string a b c d e 5 a's and c a d a and press enter. So we have to log this to the terminal as well. So system.out.println count a's. Let us again compile our code, a b c d e 5 a's c a d a. Press enter. You can see we are getting it as the expected output. So you can see we are getting the correct output. Now let us change this question to count the number of vowels in a string. So the concept is still same. We are going to use a counter variable in this case as well. But now what will happen is, suppose we are given a string a b c d f a u e z u e. Now in this string you have to count the number of vowels. So we know that vowels are a, e, I, o and u. So again we will iterate over the entire string, and the first character, as you can see, is a vowel, so we count that. Then we move to the next character, it's not a vowel. Move to the next character, not a vowel, not a vowel, not a vowel, a vowel, again a vowel, and so on. You keep on iterating over the entire string and count all the vowels. So let us solve this now. So let me copy this line and paste it down below and comment the above code. Change this to count of vowels and the method name as count vowels. Again we'll provide the string as an input by the user, and let us define it right here. So public static int count vowels, and this expects a string, say string 1. The very first thing we have to do is to define the counter variable. So let us copy the above code, because we need the exact same structure, and we are going over the entire string of characters one by one, and for each character you have to check whether it is a vowel or not. So let us remove this and pass it as an argument to a function that I will define in just a minute. So is vowel, and to this function we are passing the character that we are currently on, that is sitting at the index I, and let us define this function to check whether a certain character is a vowel or not. So public static boolean, because it is going to return either true or false, is vowel. It takes on a character, and now we need to check only for lowercase vowels, because here even if the current character that we pass to this vowel is in uppercase, we're using the to lowercase method on that to convert it to lowercase and then passing it to the isVowel function. So we just need to check whether our character is small a or it is small e or it is small I or it is small o or it is small u. So if the character that we are currently on is either one of these, then it is a vowel, and in that case this condition gets evaluated to true and we spin up our counter by 1. So let us do a simple dry run for this to understand this. Let us take a very simple string, but before that let us clear up some space. So suppose the string that is given to us is nerdy. Now the very first thing we do here is that we maintain a counter variable and we are setting that to 0, and then we are iterating over the characters of the string one by one. So suppose this n is uppercase, the character that you are currently at is say n, you convert that to lowercase, so small n, and then you pass it to the isVowel function. The isVowel function checks whether the character is say e, I, o or u. Since this character is not a vowel, the if condition will not run. So in that case we move forward to the next character, which is this one, small e. This is a vowel, so the counter will get incremented by 1. So now counter is 1, and then you move forward to the next character. This is not a vowel, this is not a vowel, this is not a vowel. Finally, when our string is completely done, the for loop terminates and we return the value of counter, which is 1, because here we are having one vowel. So the answer for this is 1. Let us run the file to see if it works or not. System.out.println count vowels, and let us compile the code and run the file. Okay, so count of vowels, and you can see we are getting 1, which is the correct output. Now as a very simple exercise, I want you to convert this function to a function that counts the number of consonants present in the string. So pause the video and try this. So let us solve this together. Let me copy this code and paste it down below. Change this to count consonants this time, and you don't have to do anything. This function is checking for whether the current character is a vowel or not. We have to check whether the current character that we are on, represented by the index I, is a consonant, which is equivalent to saying that it's not a vowel. So use a bang here, and let us go right below and copy these two lines and change vowels to consonants, and let us run the file to see the output. Let us comment these two lines as well. So first compile the code and run the file. Let us pass the same string. In mixed case and press enter. You can see in this case we are getting the count of consonants as 4, which is the correct output. So in this video we covered about the introduction of strings, and we solved some very simple counting problems on strings to count for the number of A's present in a string, to count the vowels in a string, and finally to count the consonants in a string. From the next video onwards we are going to raise the bar and we will start to solve more complex problems with each video. So if you liked the video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get the notification for all my upcoming uploads, and I will see you guys in the very next one.